It's the Meghan show. It's the Meghan show. It's the Meghan show. Oh. Yeah. Okay, that's our theme song. This is Rocky Doolittle. He's going to be hanging out with us, aren't you, Rocky Doolittle? Okay, just for a little bit. He's getting a little older and stuff, but he still know how to beg for treats. Y'all hear that noise in the background? That's him begging. Anyway, kisses to all of you. Thank you so much for your love and support. Thank you for supporting my tip jar. I want to thank one of you that sent me a super sticker. It was very thoughtful, and I am so honored to have had the super sticker. I do want to call out your name, so hopefully you give me permission to let everybody know that you gave me a super sticker. I've already talked about a couple of people that sent me some money in my tip jar, so I do appreciate it. And I do appreciate the donations, so thank you. I want to do our year in review on Meghan. I know it's a little late, but I think this gentleman that I'm about to let you listen to will bring that out. But before we get started, let's do some housekeeping. I really do think that Meghan and Harry is in some really bad shape because the main reason why they came to the United States is failing. They don't have what they need to succeed here in the United States. And the main thing, sorry, I got a piece of hair on my, sorry, I had a piece of hair on my nose. One person said, are you sniffing something? No, I don't do that. I wouldn't even know what to do. Moving on. So, you know, housekeeping. Meghan, to me, when I say she's in some serious trouble, I really do believe that. And when I say that, it's because she's in trouble financially. There's no money coming in. There's no constant flow of money. And if it is, it's on a very small scale. Her agency is not making any money. And eventually she's going to have to change the name or fix the name because that name is taken by someone else. She can't get it trademarked or patent or, you know, like say no one else can use it because someone else has it as their business. They're failing with their friendships. The friendships that they're forging in Hollywood are important because if you forge good friendships, you can collaborate with people like Kevin Costner, Beyonce, Taylor Swift. If you are in the Kardashians, but that's the only thing that they have left. But they can't collaborate with these superstars and these mega people like Oprah and Tyler Perry. Their money has ran out, and not so much as their money, but their deals, their brands, the things that's gonna bring them to life. What makes Meghan a superstar. One of you said that she wanted to be the president of the United States. Some of you say she wants to be the Queen of England. Well, Meghan would love to be any of those things, especially right now, because she's not doing well. And when you're not doing well financially and you don't have any friends and you don't have any, everything is gone, then you turn to the people around you and you start blaming them and start being angry with them and start blaming them for the situation that you're in. So Meghan's going to blame WME when they drop her. There's going to be some back and forth. I know it because WME is one of those people that just seems to me that it's not going to be quiet. So I believe what one of you guys said, that in the spring or in the fall, they're going to drop her, but they're just keeping her on. Maybe she just is begging to stay on. I don't know. But I don't believe that WME can really bring her out of the dirt. I really wanted to, hold on just a second. I really wanted to thank the person that sent me that super sticker personally. So when I find your name, because I didn't see it, I looked in where they put it and I couldn't find it. So I do apologize because I really wanted to say thank you. But there's a big kiss for you, okay? So they're having a hard time financially. They're having a hard time with their businesses, with their projects. They're having a hard time with their fan base. and they are not doing well. You can't tell me that we're doing well when all this negative is behind you and in front of you. So here we go. I want to do this one video real quick, and he's just gonna be talking about pretty much what's going on with them, and we'll see how far we get. Okay, so I don't know, his name is Johnny, and his last name is Gould, and he has a YouTube following. I've never heard of him before. If you guys have, let me know. I may just go look him up and see what his channel is about. But he does have some information about Meghan and Harry and how he feels. And pretty much, whoever you are, you pretty much are just saying your thoughts about these two. Whether you want to lie and pretend that they're doing good, okay, you can make that assumption. Or if you want to just say, you know, what I find most disturbing about these two is da-da-da-da-da. And it just depends on who you are. But there's so much trash and there's so many things that Meghan has done that there's so much to talk about. I mean, you can pick a subject and ride on that for days. But Meghan is she's quiet right now. I haven't seen her out. I haven't seen her being papped. Maybe she's taking a Christmas vacation, a New Year vacation. I think she's being scolded by WME and others trying to tell her, you're messing up what you are, your brand, because you're not listening. Like the George the Giant Slayer said. He said either they're not listening or they're just tone deaf. But they're not listening to the people that are trying to make them famous. It's funny how she has to be made famous over again. Because when she was first stepped on the scene, she was instantly famous. She instantly was globally known. She was instantly a superstar, whatever she wanted to be. She was instantly a princess. And then that all came tumbling down. And now they're trying to build her back up to that status because it has fallen. But for the life of me, I don't understand how she's not understanding that being attached to the royal family is her meal ticket. And not just being attached to the royal family, but having a relationship with them. Because being attached to them is not enough. You have to have a back and forth, a dialogue. And I'm sure but it's hard. How can Meghan have a relationship with someone that she hates? If she hates them so much and trashes them so much and defame them, then how is she going to wash it off, pretend like she likes them, and move on? How? And here's the thing. The royal family knows how she feels about them because she talks about them all the time. I did want to say this. This is what I find interesting, is that she needs that connection, but she can't connect with them because of the way she treats them. She just wrote a book, Endgame, and named 2 people from her Rolodex. She named them and wanted us to know that they were racist. And Scooby-Doo tells us, I got this information from Meghan. And so when he tells us that he got this information, that he saw this information, then Meghan didn't come out and say, no, you didn't. You didn't get that information from me, Obi Scooby. I didn't tell you about that stuff. You made that stuff up by yourself. She didn't denounce it. And somebody like myself would have been like, suing him, because you know she can sue people at every given cost. She's suing, they got 5 cases right now, and then, but excluding the Samantha one, someone's suing her. But my point is that if someone wrote a book about me and it was lies, I think that I would be trying to get legal action. But Meghan isn't taking legal action because she's given him permission to leak those names in a book. Yeah. Obi is moving to California. Who and what who do he know in California? He only knows Meghan them. And so is he going over there to live the American dream too? What is he going to do? Write another tell-all? Part 2, Meghan's memoir, part 2, what she forgot to tell us? I'm waiting to find something new that she has going on over there that she wants us to know. But she thought telling us that 2 major players were saying that her kids had an issue with the color of the skin. And that story died when she said it on the Oprah show, but she keeps trying to resurrect it. And as she continues to try to resurrect it, her platform, her brand fails, because no one wants to hear about her whine and lie and tell stories about things that are not true, and then defame people just to try to make herself out to look better. See, I told you. And it's constant. And I believe WME said, listen, shut up. Stop talking about the royal family. They have nothing to do with what we're doing with you. And so we're going to separate you from your husband. Because if we don't, you're going to just keep talking about the royal family, and they are moving on. If you keep attacking them, Meghan, your brand will continue to go down, because you've already messed up with one country, and the United States have deemed you a loser. They don't even, you didn't talk about the UK, you didn't talk about the United States because they're your friends. But you're doing stuff for people to look at you like, okay, this, that they don't like you. They don't want to support you. They don't want to buy into what you have to sell, or what she has to sell, or what she's giving the lake by the book. That's not going to, it's going to be one of those Hallmark movies that barely get watched. Maybe my sister might watch it. Okay, let's move on. Let's see what they're saying about Meghan. I just want to, and then you form your opinion, I'm going to form mine, and let's see where it goes from there.
You have a bit of a social media following, and so does Harry and Meghan. So I thought, let's set the...
This gentleman's name is Johnny, G-O-U-L-D. Again, he has his own following.
...on fire and start talking about Harry and Meghan, because it's a make or break year for our friends in California. They've been dropped by Spotify, haven't they? And they've not sold enough books either. I don't think Spare did very well either, even though he tried and blew off the top of the royal family as well. What next for the former royals? Are they going to come home with tails between their legs?
Well, you know, I go to America all the time, and a few years ago, Meghan and Harry were pretty popular because Americans always love...
A few years ago, Meghan and Harry were very popular. They were, because Hollywood, California was like, oh my God, Meghan and Harry are now living in California. They didn't know that, they didn't care about the Mexit. They didn't care that she wanted to be back over, that she wanted to be in California. They accepted her. She was accepted. Some people were like, no, but for the most part, Meghan had Americans on her side. She had a following. She had support. People was trying to relate to her and say, we understand that maybe you didn't have it that great, or maybe you should have came over here to have your own life, or whatever. But according to Meghan and Harry's post about them coming over here to live a private life, they made it seem as if everybody was on board with the split. But we knew it was some tension. You could tell. But then Meghan and Harry tried to pretend like everything is okay. We just want to carve out a private life for ourselves. No, this is what she really was saying. I want to go to Hollywood. I want to go to California. I want to go to the United States because I want to be the president one day. I want to be a senator. I want to do something great. There's so much I want to do now that I got all this publicity. Now that I done married my prince, and he has... You know, he's a star, and he's globally known because of his ties to his family. And so that relationship alone made Meghan famous. But she wanted us to believe that she was famous without the royal family, without Harry, that she can do this by herself. No, you need Harry because our interest is the royal family. We want to know, are you going to reconcile with the royal family? And we want to know if you're going to reconcile with your father. Yes, your father. Are you going to let the kids see the kid? Are you going to let the family see the kids ever? Are you going to reach out to your father and check on him to make sure he ain't on his deathbed? Are you just going to continue to just be over there in Montecito, making up a new story and moving on with it? Because Meghan wants us to know that she's successful. And when word on the street is that she's not successful, like when Spotify dumped her, she was ready to tell us. She told us, she came out and she says it was a mutual agreement. And then they came out again and she said something that, you know, they didn't help her or give her guidance. That's what she told us. She blamed Spotify for the relationship going under. And we already know what happened to that. And so instead of taking responsibility for and I'm not going to say failures, but taking responsibility for something that you had a major part in, you blame it on everybody else. Like I heard someone say, Tara by Andy, she said, Meghan will blame WME for the fall. She's going to say that we left on mutual terms. I believe that. But then Meghan's going to have her side story and say that WME didn't do this or do that or do this. WME, it's their fault that they hired Meghan and took that royal chance on her. I called it the royal chance. And whoever touches her, whoever comes in contact with her will end up failing. Look at Obi Scobie. He's done. Hollywood don't want him. He doesn't have a place over there. Meghan told him, why don't you move up here and come over here and you can be successful. Oh, no, I don't see that happening. He's been marked. And what about Spotify? Spotify, they didn't look good and Netflix didn't look good. Netflix looked like an idiot. They running around putting her on the platform and she losing and they losing money. Spotify lost 1 to 200 employees because of Meghan's podcast. Because they paid her $13 million, whatever, how much millions of dollars. If they hadn't paid her that much, they would have had that money in reserve to give to those that had a podcast. But since they gave it all to Meghan that 1 year, you know, they broke. They had to do some regrouping. And so is Netflix. They're going to have to regroup too. They just don't want us to know. They want us to pretend. Okay. No, all Meghan's little projects keeps failing, but that's not what I was going to say. I think everything that Meghan touches turns to dust or dirt or rubble. Her book bench, that turned to rubble. Spare turned to rubble. Netflix turned to rubble. Spotify, Oprah, rubble. And in these rubbles, the people that she have on her side end up defaming themselves too. Look at Boosie. Boosie is gone. He has no more credibility. No one's... The Sussex Squad. But what about them? She's telling them to delete stuff because she's going to have to show proof. Allegedly. When Samantha's lawsuit comes. But no, everything she touches, even Kevin Costner moment. People were looking at Kevin Costner like, really? You got them on your stage. Kelly Rowland taking a picture with her, calling her a royal. No, she's not a royal. Excuse me, sorry. What I'm trying to say is that every person that comes in contact with Meghan end up not on the best side of the stream. They're on the other side of the stream. Okay, so let's continue with this gentleman. He has a... Well, I'm going to find him because he has a...
For the former royals, are they going to come home with tails between their legs?
Well, you know, I go to America all the time, and a few years ago, Meghan and Harry were pretty popular because Americans always love royal family stuff because they don't have their own royal family. But, you know, every time I go to now...
I don't care what you say, who you ask, whatever. We may not have it over here, but we do respect the culture, and we respect the king and the queen. We respect the entire setup. We think it's a fairy tale. I do. I think the royal family is like this big, wonderful fairy tale. And we love it. And I think that you guys can agree with me on this, is that, you know, look how Americans have decided that, wait a minute, there's something wrong with that woman over there. We like the royal family. That's who we support. And here's the thing. We don't support Meghan because she doesn't support the royal family or the UK. And so my point is that why isn't she supporting them? Why is she's the in-law? She's the sister-in-law. But Meghan wants us to tell us how bad they was to her, instead of her being the bigger person and saying, you know what, regardless of what happened to me, regardless of what lie I'm telling everybody, I'm still going to be connected. I'm still going to try to build relationships. She wasn't even over there long enough to continue to build and get to know these people and get to know the Sussex, the town, get to know the UK people, get to know her in-laws. No, she didn't want to. As soon as she got married, she was ready for the shenanigans. When she went out on that walk with the Queen, she was readied in for the shenanigans. No, things were moving so fast for her that she couldn't help it. She had to go along with the flow. But as soon as she got home and Harry, after we're going to talk about the walkabout with Queen Elizabeth. After the walkabout, she's like, honey, I don't like this. I'm ready to go. She was building up to the day of Megxit.
Every single person I speak to is not a fan of Harry and Meghan. And look, I think
every person that he speaks to is not a fan. Isn't that going to be difficult for her to brand, to have something, to have this lake movie? Imagine she's producing it, or she's an executive producer. Now she wants to be a producer. I heard P. Dinah talking about it, but what else is she going to do? She's not acting in the movie. It's her book. It's her movie. It's her deal, her project. Yes, she's going to try to produce it and get some Hollywood Scarlets to be in her movie. And it's going to be this big, wonderful movie. And it's going to make us smile and feel. I forgot what I was saying. He said it. Let me just, because sometimes, you know, I go too deep. That's what I go too deep.
A few years ago, Meghan and Harry were pretty popular because Americans always love royal family stuff.
No one cares for them. No one likes them. No one wants to see what Meghan has. Her time is up. Time up. Maybe I'll name it that. Time up. Time up. No more time. You have no more. You have no more. You have nothing else that we want to see that you're going to come out with. And when you do come out with it, it's not going to get the notoriety that you need to catapult yourself back into the good graces of the UK and the American people, because you can't cover up what you've done and then say, okay, I want to push that all aside and I want to focus on what's best for, I want to focus on my stuff. I want to focus on me becoming this great person, this great influencer. And then you try to be that person, but we still see the stuff that you pushed aside, racism and trashing your family and all of that stuff. That still comes to the forefront of us. And so we can't see the whatever greatness that you may have, because time is up. Time up. There's nothing out there that we want to see. Yeah, we'll look. But then when we get through looking, we're going to be like, see, that's why she shouldn't have did it. That's why she shouldn't have wrote the memoir. That's why she shouldn't have did the book by the lake. That's why she needs to get somewhere and sit down. Remember when she was lying, talking about she was going to do some Audible? Now, I don't know any other stream. Remember they were talking, Ernest, one of her biggest Sussex Squad people. I think he's over it for some reason. I'm not sure. That's me just chit chat. But what I was trying to say is that everything that she tries to do, it doesn't work. I forgot what I was saying. I went too deep. Started talking about something else. My point is that the people no longer want to see what she has. Time is up. Whatever she thinks she has, time's up. We don't want to see it. We're done. We don't want to see a book. We don't want to see a lake. And the only reason we would want to see it is to see how it all went wrong. The drama. Look at this. Look, the ad commercial. When I first watched it, I was really nice about it. I said, she looks good. She acted really good in there. And that was my first reaction to the ad. I said, okay, she's got an ad and she's in every scene. And then that's when reality hit. And I was like, why is she in every scene? Why she just didn't, but that's their thing, okay? That's Meghan's thing. The bottom line to that whole ad, it's a disgrace. You don't see Catherine in no ad talking about some mushroom coffee. And then the sad part about it is the product isn't making a lot of money, is it? Did everybody run out and buy the coffee after the ad? Let me know, subscribers. How was the ad doing? Is she making a lot of money from it? Did she catapult herself into some type of fame? No.
They don't have their own royal family, but every time I go there now, every single person I speak to is not a fan of Harry and Meghan. And look, I think they really see them as very privileged and just moaning all the time. And look, they lost the Spotify deal. They were meant to do a lot of episodes. They only ended up doing a couple.
Did you listen to them?
I can't listen to Meghan talking. Sorry, I've listened to clips, but I did watch.
I didn't listen to it.
I did watch the Netflix series.
I'm sorry to let you down, dear listener. I didn't do my research.
He said, look, he apologizing because he said he didn't listen to any of it. In other words, no, I didn't. That was a no for me. And then the gentleman said he didn't see it either, but he did say that he saw bits and pieces. That's me. I'm not going to go out and buy anything from Meghan. I'm not supporting that. So I'm just going to have to get it secondhand from, those that do read it, those that do know what's going on.
For those podcasts.
I mean, so I watched the Netflix series and it was just very dull. And, they obviously
I did watch that.
100 million.
It's 2 hours I can't get back.
Ooh.
And, so I just think the public interest...
People are complaining about the time they wasted watching Meghan. I wasted 2 hours. I think I watched it twice because I wanted my husband to see it. And one day, I think what I would like to do is have my mom and my sister watch it. Yeah, they haven't seen it. They don't care about Meghan. And that's what I'm saying. They don't care. You got some people that just don't care. They just, the time that they don't care. And then you have those that be like, whoa, what did she do? That's us. And then you got some that's just going to like her just because. They know she's rotten. They don't even care they don't care. They're going to talk about it and they're going to be her friend no matter what.
Them is really waning, and obviously you've got the wedding of the year coming up, I believe in June, the Duke of Westminster.
The wedding. The wedding of the century. Duke of Westminster is getting married. It is the who's of invites. And Meghan did not get an invitation. And according to sources, that Prince Harry, that's their godfather. That's Lilibet's, one of them, Archie's godfather. Yep. And they are not invited to the wedding. Word on the street is it just would be too controversial if they go. In other words, William said, if they go, I ain't going. Pick which one you want to go. And it's no big deal because William is like, listen, you can invite them and I'll stay at home. That's fine. But I don't want to hook up with them. He don't want to come in contact with Meghan. Why? Why is William don't want to come in contact with Harry and Meghan at this moment? I know why. Because William knows that his brother has been bamboozled by this woman and that he is not Harry right now and that everything that happened is her fault. And he's upset with his brother because he allowed her to do it. When he went over there and had a conversation with Harry and told Harry, listen, get your wife. Get your wife. Check her. Get her. Do whatever. But get it together. Because she is on another retro scale. She is being, go get your daddy. Daddy's home. That's hubby. He's just getting back from the store. He's doing some man stuff around the house. It's so sexy. So yeah, he's fixing some stuff. He's good at fixing stuff too. He's been YouTubing it and stuff. And he's realizing that we're going to have to do some of the stuff ourselves. But we're not good with it. You know, he's good. My husband's doing good. He fixed the chair I'm sitting in. The legs was coming off and he went in there and screwed it on for me. I love him. He's such a wonderful husband. Anyway, it feels good because we've been together for so long. And it's interesting how our relationship grows. And then sometimes it's that, you know, you're just a old married couple. And then it starts to get even better. It's really interesting. I'm really lucky. I thank God for him. Okay, back to
Hugo's for that. That's going to be a very, very big royal wedding. I believe King Charles Camilla will be there. King Charles is the godfather. But I don't believe Harry and Meghan will be there. I think they're going to be shunned because the problem is, I think a lot of the royal family now, they don't trust them because...
Shunned. They don't trust them. Shunned and no trust. When you don't trust someone, you don't want them really by you. You don't want them connected to you. It's not necessarily you don't want them connected to you. You just don't trust them. And so you keep them far away. You watch what you say. You watch what you do because you don't trust that person because that person may do or say something about that meeting like Meghan and Harry do. Talk about the situation when it's no one else's business. Did Harry and Meghan not invade everyone's privacy? I've never said that, but I'm saying it now. They invaded their privacy. They invaded Catherine's, William's, even Charlotte's with that bridesmaid dress crap. Anyone that they felt that they wanted to attack, they invaded their privacy. They did. Because the information that Harry says in his book, that is private information, private text, private information, so on and so on, between him and the person that, like him and William. That dog bowl incident that he pushed you down and tried to knock some sense into you and you were bleeding and all this other stuff, like he had to go to the hospital and get stitches. Your brother was trying to talk to you.
You don't attack your country.
He was trying to relate to you. He was trying to let you get you to understand that you're in a bad situation with this woman and you need to wake up, Harry. And all Harry was saying that, oh, everybody's messing with Meghan. Everybody's messing with her. And I'm trying to protect her from everybody that's messing with her. Who told you everybody was messing with her? Did she tell you that William was messing with her and Catherine was messing with her? Yes, she did. She did. But she lied. She manipulated Harry into believing that his family was the enemy, that his family was racist. I don't understand. No one will be able to convince me that my family is racist unless they were. And Harry allowed her to convince him that they were racist and he didn't know. I think Harry is in a state of confusion, a state of disbelief, a state of a cult-like situation. And I think he has no way out because she's threatening to leave the kids and it's going to be a big scandal. And he probably don't want to deal with the fallout. That's okay. It's coming. The relationship is over. You can't hold that relationship up and keep it going when you have one person hell-bent on destroying it. There's never been peace in the house. There's always been strife and division and blame and whining and nasty stuff. Meghan keeps the drama going. She keeps it at bay.
I I mean, so I watched the Netflix series and it was just very dull. And, you know, they
I did watch that.
100 million.
2 hours I can't get back.
The Netflix series. How did you guys think about the Netflix series? It was, to me, it was her lying, trying to pretend like they had this big fairy tale of a relationship, how they were so in love and all this other stuff, but I didn't feel it. Remember, she said we were going to feel something. You got to first know what you're doing before you can. You got to know what you're doing first. And she doesn't know what she's doing. And I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel the love story like I felt Catherine and William's love story. It was authentic. It was genuine. It was genuine love. Harry was fascinated. I believe Harry was starstruck, fascinated, you know, thought Meghan was the who's of who's, and he slipped up. He was conned into thinking that this was the woman of his dreams, the woman that was going to, you know, Harry, and I don't want to talk to them no more. The woman or the man that you marry should be elevating you up to the next level, encouraging you to want to go for your dreams and your goals and not trying to pull you down and be negative and bring all this drama about your friends and family and everything and isolate you from the people that you loved before you married this person. That person is supposed to enhance, not take away and digress. Meghan did that. She took away all the love that you had. All the love, your brother's love. She took that from you. You needed that. You've had that for so many years. And she decided that the best course of action for that was to separate you from your family, because she turned you against your family by making up these lies, talking about how she was suicidal and the racism and how the press was coming in and attacking her and all this other made up BS, made up, conjured up, fictitious stuff. So he can turn against his country and his family and his friends. And now he is somewhere lonely and looking at the walls. And all she can think about is her brand.
And yeah, so I just think the public interest in them is really waning. And obviously you've got the wedding of the year coming up, I believe in June, the Duke of Westminster. And Hugh Gosford, that's going to be a very, very big royal wedding. I believe King Charles Camilla will be there. King Charles is the godfather. But I don't believe Harry and Meghan will be there. I think they're going to be...
King Charles is the godfather to the Duke. That's interesting. Sorry, I didn't know that. Excuse me. Thank you guys for giving me, like you told me what would happen with Meghan, pretty much. If they got a divorce, she would still be able to use the name Duchess of Sussex. But if they remove the name, if Parliament removed the name from Harry, then she would lose the titles too. And maybe even the kids.
Shunned, because the problem is, I think a lot of the royal family now, they don't trust them, because every time they turn up, they're kind of spilling secrets to media, and they're not doing it. Trust,
to me, it goes with love. You have love and you have trust. You need both of them to make things work. You gotta be able to trust the individual. If there's no trust, then it's broken. You can't trust anyone with your heart. If I give you my heart, that means I trust that you're going to take care of it. Harry gave Meghan his heart, and he can't trust her with it. Look how she divided him from his family. And then she likes to say, when she was on the Oprah show, look how they blame Megs for everything. It is your fault. It is her fault. Who else's fault is it? Whose decision was it to leave? Meg's. Whose decision is it to live in Montecito? Meg's. To move to L.A. Meg's. It's all her fault. When she was in the docuseries, I knew it. She walked around that house and had that laptop in her hand and was conversating with Harry. And every time Harry opened his mouth, he looked at Meghan to get permission. He was like, I wonder, even with the avocado, did I say that right? You know, he looks like a child. When I'm watching, he doesn't look like he has a point of view. He doesn't look like he's... Meghan is controlling everything, and you can see it. Move on.
Directly, Meghan might do it for an aide or for an assistant.
Right.
And of course, the Omid Scobie Endgame book was a real flop. And we know Meghan had a lot to do with that, feeding information.
We know that Meghan had a lot to do with that. It was a flop. The Endgame, we know that Meghan had a lot to do with that. Guess who else know that she had a lot to do with it? Her agency, WME. They knew she had a lot to do with it. That's why they were so upset. That's why she got in trouble, because they told her, Meghan, leave the royal family alone. If you don't leave the royal family alone, then you're going to ruin your brand. And she's not listening to that. And so she thought it would be a good idea to stir up something with Obi Scobie while he leaking stuff in a book. It's so conniving. It's so sinister that Meghan would sit and plot and do that. That her name is written all over it. Now she's back in hiding. Now she'll be back. She'll be back this week, I'm sure. Because WME has already told her, you got to get out there. But why? How mean of you. Here's the thing, and I know I said this before, but listen to this. How can she talk about her relationships, about how they mistreated her, when all she does is mistreat them on a regular, constant 9-to-5 basis? Because she thought it was a good idea to collaborate with Obi Scobie and leak and tell him those two names in that book. And those two names, it wasn't in a book, but those two names to leak in Holland. She did that on purpose. Why would you do that on purpose during Christmas time? To shatter your husband's father and Catherine. Why would you do that? What purpose would you have to be that mean and evil around Christmas time, around New Year's? That, you know what Catherine told me when she got out that car with that blue turquoise outfit? She stuck up her middle finger at Meghan. Okay, I don't know what I was saying because I had to go check a little bit. But let's go back. Let's talk about, I want to talk about this because I know I say it, but I don't feel like I'm explaining it or really hitting my point is not coming home. What I'm trying to say is that listen and look at all the disgusting things Meghan has done to her in-laws. Look how Harry allows her to do it. Okay? Now, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I wanted to really home in on that part. I kicked the baby out and I kicked hubby out. He was like, wow, we're getting the boot. I said, yes. Okay, guys, this video is 40 minutes long. Let's move on from this. Let's not move on, but what I'm going to do is shut this one down and start a new one. That way it's not so long. Kisses to all of you. Give you something to watch on your break or whatever. Sorry, I did eat a little bit just now. So kisses to all of you. Let's start over. Let's regroup. This video is basically about, you know, a recap. But hopefully I'll be able to explain what I'm trying to explain in the next segment. So you got to go to the next segment if you want to hear the other little bit. And I know I say it a lot, but I want to bring it home. And I'm not bringing it home like I want to. Some of you do. I want to start reading your post, you know, especially the pin ones. Let's talk about that real quick. I may pin you and then I may pin someone else. But the good news is all the pin posts are at the top. So even if yours is not at the very top, it's still in that category. Okay. So I like to pin post, and if you don't want, oh God, I hope you don't mind me pinning it because I won't know if you don't want me to or not. but I like to share your thoughts with the rest of the subscribers so they can get an insight into it. But I want to start reading your posts, and I will start doing that once I get my lovely helper that's going to help me. She's going to be on there reading posts, and then we're going to go over it, okay? So we got some good stuff going on in 2024, okay? I'll see you in a sec. It's the Meghan Show.